Hello everybody, Mega Goal 2, 3 Grammar, pages 56 and 57. Now let's take a look at the objectives. Number 1, past perfect tense. Number 2, can't, could, couldn't, must, may or might. راح نتكلم عن الماضي التام، راح نتكلم عن can't, could, couldn't, must, may or might. So 4, I wonder what happened. 3 grammar, please move on to pages number 56 and page number 57, and please follow up with me as I explain this lesson. So the first thing we will be looking at is the past perfect tense, الماضي التام. So the formation of the past perfect tense it is had plus the past participle. يتكون الماضي التام من had والتصريف الثالث للفعل. Let's take a look at, let me give you an example. So had seen, had, for example, eaten. Okay, so had والتصريف الثالث للفعل. So when do we use the past perfect tense? متى نستخدم الماضي التام? We use the past perfect tense to indicate an action that happened before another action in the past. نستخدم الماضي التام عشان نوضح أن في حدث حصل في الماضي قبل حدث آخر في الماضي. يعني عندنا حدثين حصلوا في الماضي، الحدث اللي حصل أولا هو ال past perfect. In other words يسمون ال past perfect past in the past، الماضي في الماضي. Okay, so we use the past perfect tense to indicate that an action happened before another action in the past, or as I said previously, in other words, past in the past. خلينا نشوف الأمثلة هنا، ومن خلال الأمثلة راح أوضح لكم. So let's read the first sentence. When we arrived at the airport, our flight had already left. So here, if I may ask you, how many actions do we have? كم حدثين لدينا? Yes, so we do have two actions. The first one, arrived, and had left or had already left. Here, أساساً had left. So the first one, okay, and is in the past. عندما وصلنا للمطار كانت الرحلة قد غادرت. Okay. طبعا the first one is in the simple past. Simple. Okay, just let me write it here. Simple past. Now the second action is the past perfect. Past perfect. Okay. إذا قلنا عندنا خط الزمن هنا. Okay, so as I said previously, both actions happened in the past. كلا الحدثين حصلوا في الماضي. But which one happened first? Yes, أول حاجة the flight had left. Okay, left. والثاني arrived. Okay, so both actions الحدثين في أي زمن في الماضي. But which one happened first? The past perfect. Okay, so this is the first action and this is the second action. Okay, so I guess right now you do have a clear idea of what we mean of the past perfect and when do we use it or when we use it. Now let's take a look at the second example. They couldn't get in the house because they had forgotten the key. So again we do have two actions. حدثين. لم نستطع الدخول، خليني أترجم الجملة. لم نستطع الدخول للمنزل لأن احنا مثلا نسينا المفتاح. So couldn't get, had forgotten. So as I said previously, the first action here is in the past. The second action, had forgotten, is in the past perfect. But when I ask you which one happened first, أي منهم حصل أولا? Okay, so as I said, both actions in the past. Okay, اللي حصل أول طبعا had forgotten the key. And then couldn't get. Okay, couldn't get. So as I said previously, both actions happened in the past and the first action is had forgotten. So this is the first action, which is in the past perfect, and the second action is in the past tense. Okay, So again, as I said previously, we call the past perfect, we call it past in the past. بيتكون من had plus the past participle اللي هي التصريف الثالث للفعل. Now, if you want to formulate questions or yes or no question in particular, طبعا كالعادة إذا نبغى نكون أسئلة أو yes or no question بالتحديد. Now, of course, we should start all the time with the auxiliary verb الفعل المساعد, and in this case we have had بعدها subject will past participle. Now here, had I been there before, had you been there before, and so. As for the short answer, you can say yes, I had, or no, I hadn't, and so. Now, as for the contraction for had, يعني بالنسبة للاختصار فI'd, she'd, he'd, you'd, would, and they'd. Okay? So this is regarding the past perfect. Now let's move on to the next thing, which is can't, could, couldn't, must, may, or might. طبعا هذولي كلهم أسميهم modal verbs. Okay, so can, could, must, may, might, should, will أسميهم modal verbs ويعملون كفعل مساعد وعادة بعدهم الفعل يجي in the base form بدون أي إضافات. لكن we use can't, must, may, or might to make suppositions, to speculate about something and to draw conclusions. نستخدمهم إذا مثلا أبي أفترض أمر معين عن شيء ما مثلا أو إني I want to draw a conclusion يعني بستنتج conclusion يعني خاتمة أو نهاية. Now must we use it to say that we are sure of something نحن متأكدين من أمر ما. Now as for can't or couldn't we use it to say that we think something is impossible يعني شيء لا يمكن حصوله impossible مستحيل. Okay, now it can't be accurate or can't be right. That couldn't be true. Now as for may, might, or could we use it to say that something is possible شيء ممكن. Okay, now let's take a look at these examples. It can't be a balloon. Balloons aren't shaped like that. It might be a glider, okay? But gliders do not fly vertically. It must be a helicopter. Now, if you could realize that this sentence or these sentences are in the present tense في المضارع. Okay, so here we have can't, might, must. طبعا مثل ما قلت لكم can't we use it to say that something impossible. Might we use it to say that we think that something is possible ممكن. As for must we use it when we think that we are sure of something or we are sure about something متأكدين من أمر ما. So القاعدة تقول المودل والbase form of the verb إذا كنا نستخدم the present tense. Okay, إذا كانت الجمل في المضارع فهنا يكون عندنا المودل والفعل في المصدر. Okay, now here we have the same sentence or the same sentences, the giving sentences, but here we have them in the past tense. Okay, so here it can't have been a balloon. Balloons aren't shaped like that. It might have been a glider. Okay, but gliders do not fly vertically. It must have been a helicopter. طبعا هنا في الباست ومثل ما تلاحظون الجمل هذه كلها في الماضي بس الماضي يتكون من model have والتصريف الثالث للفعل ف cannot have been, might have been, must have been. طبعا بين التصريف الثالث للفعل أفعال verb to be. Okay, so this is regarding must, mustn't, can't, couldn't, may, might, and so. Okay, now I'd like you all to move on to page number 56 and let's take a look at the given example. Complete the sentences using the verbs in parentheses. طبعا أنا راح أنزل لكم كل الإجابات في قناتي في صفحتي على الانستغرام. So just if you would like to follow on Instagram بتشوفون